Hello and happy Friday, and thanks for tuning in to radiofreerhinecliff.org and this show in particular. Correct me if I'm Norm. I'm your host, Norm, and I'm thrilled to be here today with Christopher Dorsey. Hello, Christopher. Thanks for coming.
Hi, guys.
And,
this is fun.
Well, thanks so much for coming. Now, we are sitting right now about a block away from this restaurant that used to be, what it used to be called? Anybody? I don't even remember. Yeah, I don't remember. Nobody remembers. And now you're opening Kips Tavern.
Correct. Yeah, soon.
Well, like everybody wants to know, when is soon?
It's soon. As soon as I can. Probably in a few weeks, I'm hoping. Fingers crossed.
And when did you have when you started doing it, did you have an original date you thought you would open? Like May 15th or?
June 1st. Yeah, June 1st would have been ideal. Or 4th of July was, the initial. But
the next.
That's just not how.
And then after that, Labor Day for sure.
Yeah, end of August, Labor Day, after Labor Day.
By
Before
Halloween.
October. Yeah. No, soon. We're there. We're ready.
And what have been the biggest surprises as you've embarked on this journey of trying to open a restaurant?
Well, I've opened restaurants before. I think the biggest challenge or surprise to doing it here locally is I didn't have my arsenal of people that I was used to in the city. And so to, find a plumber, electrician, a painter, all those people that really, pull it together. There was a whole interview process in that, and if they could show up. It was hardly an interview, but trying to find the people to do that was certainly a challenge. So that moved the timeline back considerably.
Right, and it's been an extra busy time for all of the trades, as I understand.
100%, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned that you had restaurants, you'd opened restaurants before in New York City.
Correct, yeah.
And what were they?
I guess we should go back from most recent. I did not open, but the last 10 years I spent running Monkey Bar on 54th Street for Graydon Carter and Jeff Klein. So old school New York.
And that was in like the hotel?
It's in a hotel.
Bartlesman?
It's Elysee Hotel. It's part of a larger group. And the restaurant's always kind of stood on its own a bit. So right Midtown East, Madison and Park, 54th Street.
And is that the one that had like paintings of monkeys on all the walls?
Correct. So the ballroom, the tavern part, had monkey paintings, and then the dining room, when the most recent owners had it, was a mural done by Ed Sorrell, which was all iconic people that dined there in the 40s, 30s, 50s.
Nice.
Across the wall. So it was great. Yeah, it was fun.
I love that kind of old-time New Yorkie bar. And so how was that? Was that a fun gig for you?
It was great. I didn't plan to stay there long. I planned to stay there for a year. Ken Friedman had called me and asked me to come take a look at it. And they were going through some troubles early on. And I said, I'll give it 6 months or a year and try to help you guys out and see what I can do. And then it turned out to be great. And I stayed for 10.
Nice.
And really, I think that, people join businesses and leave their managers or whatever that quote is. I think that in my case, in this situation, was very true. Jeff and Graydon were just the nicest, kindest people to work for, and allowed me to do other projects at the same time, so it wasn't mundane and just kind of going through, the same daily routine of a restaurant.
And the other projects, were they bars or restaurants or in this sort of general
bars
field?
And restaurants, always. That's all I know. And I helped out with a cafeteria down in Chelsea, and then we reopened Empire Diner in 2016, I think, from scratch. It needed a whole renovation and new launch, and that was great fun to go through that whole process, especially spending somebody else's money on my own.
And who backed? Whose money was it backing Empire Diner?
It was the same owners as Cafeteria.
Oh, okay.
So that same group did that. Yeah.
And so you, I'm guessing, moved here from New York City at some point in the last couple of years?
Correct. In 2019, my partner and I got a house up here as like a weekend place to rent out. None too soon, and then found ourselves up here full time with the pandemic. 2 weeks later, we were here full time, and spent about a year and a half here, and went back in August last year. So it's time to go back to the city and go back to normal life. And I was truly unhappy. I was like, I'm so much happier up in the Hudson Valley and up in Rhinebeck, and we live actually in Statsburg, just a little bit over. And he's like, give it a go for it, try it. We can go back and forth on the train and make that home. So
And so are you both up here now, or he's down there and you're here?
he's
or?
down there. I'm up here, back and forth on the train, and
Right.
making it work. And
That's nice.
that's great.
And how long have you been together prior to this?
10 years.
So
just 10 years now-ish.
Which is a pretty good long time.
Very long time.
So I'm curious, now you see each other 2 or 3 nights a week?
Weekends here and there, and he reminded me, and I forgot that before the pandemic, we didn't really live together. And he travels for work, so he's constantly on an airplane, and
Right.
New places all the time, and that's starting again now. He's like, you forget this was our lifestyle before the pandemic. I was like, you're right. We would see each other, date night or a weekend or a getaway, and it wasn't
Right.
every day living together. So
Right.
we're back to where we were before, kind of, I guess.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
I was going to ask if it had been good or bad for the relationship to have all that time off, but I guess neither.
10 years, I think it's good.
Yeah, that's good. So you had bought a house up here,
Correct.
and how did you end up finding this space, which is going to be Kips Tavern?
Correct. Well, early pandemic, I would say March, April, when it was spring and you couldn't, go anywhere, we would come down here just to get out of the house and go be by the water. And there's this lovely little park down by the train station, and that's where we would hang, one night a week or whatever, just to get out.
Right.
And we walked by the restaurant, and Stephen, my partner, saw the beauty. He's like, this place is great. He's like, this should be your restaurant. And I was like, you're crazy. You've lost your mind. Absolutely not. This is not happening. I'm not ready to move here full time. And it took a little bit of time. And I was lucky that it was still available when I felt I was ready to come up here and be here full time. So,
And what did Stephen see in the space that you didn't immediately see?
I think the beauty was the bar that has been there for some time, the original wood front of the bar, the exterior, the location, you can see through the dead trees and the, dust on the windows and see the character of the place that it has. And now that that's all done, it feels like magic. It just feels really, the energy's great inside. And it's I owe a great deal of thanks to him for seeing that.
And have you changed the layout of the place at all?
No. The landlord had done a lot of work previously to me leasing the space. So he had done some heavy lifting as far as demolition goes and some new bathrooms. But it really, other than that, was a blank canvas in a lot of ways. So he'd done some infrastructure work, but the design of it was really open still. So we refinished the bar and lots of paint, new furniture, all new kitchen and equipment. And, more or less it's a new restaurant.
Right. So all new kitchen equipment. Old restaurants don't sort of leave their.
They do. Depends. And this one did not, and needed a fresh start. So that we did.
So all of a sudden, I'm seeing dollar signs. It must get kind of expensive outfitting a new kitchen with everything.
It was, and a little scary too. That when I first started, it was things are going to take 6 months to come in, and shipping's a mess, and can't get parts from this country or that country. So it was a little scary that the timeline might be pushed out, but I was a little scrappy and found things online and went about it a different route and got there and saved some money in the meantime. So it worked out.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And you brought with you a cocktail.
I did.
Is this going to be a signature cocktail on the menu at Kips Tavern?
Of course, have to promote. Yeah, it's going to be a cocktail. It's going to be called the Villarreal. It is a tequila-based cocktail. Tequila, fresh grapefruit, fresh lime, Saint Germain, which is elderflower, and cinnamon, which sounds a lot fancier than it really is. It's a pretty simple drink, but it's just clean and fresh and light. So, yeah, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And who decided to put this on the menu? Is this one of your old favorites from?
This is one from Monkey Bar. A little tweaked to bring it here, but yeah, definitely a favorite.
Oh, good. Well, I can't wait to try it. Looks fabulous. So how many? So there will be a number of signature cocktails or specialty cocktails.
Just a few. I think 4, maybe 5. I don't really want to be a cocktail bar. I just want to do things really well. So simple and clean. Excuse the. All right.
Well, that sounds delicious. I can't wait to try this. Thanks for mixing it up.
Sure.
And I see club soda. Does it get a little topper of?
It does.
Oh boy! So Are you sort of the guy who makes the decisions as to what's going to be on the menu for drinks and food?
Yeah, 100%.
Will you be the chef?
No, I have a chef. He's
Okay.
great. He started a few weeks ago. I interviewed quite a few people, and he, was the one with the right energy. I felt like I could work with him. I felt like I liked his disposition.
Right.
His food is great. We tasted everything last week, and it was wonderful. So thrilled at that. And I feel very lucky to have him working with me.
And so you say his food was great. Oh boy! Now what did you just garnish this with? Grapefruit
Yeah,
peel.
grapefruit. A little,
Looks
yes.
so
that's,
good.
Grapefruit. Have
Good.
Yeah. All right. Good. Well, cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Here's to you. Good luck. Good
Sláinte.
health. And thanks for being here. Oh, that is super dang delicious.
Oh.
So, what's the process of finding a chef like? You put out
Tough.
an ad somewhere?
Yeah, put out ads and interview. And much like all the other trades, to get a new business or restaurant open, I didn't have my people that I've worked with the past 20 years in the city up here. So
Did
it's
you
a little.
bring any people from the city up?
I did not.
Okay.
I think everybody's in a very different place now, and I had a few friends that I'd worked with that wanted to come up, but that was 6 months ago, and now they're doing different things. So
Right.
I'm not against it. I think it'd be great. It just isn't where I'm at right now. No, blind ads and interviews, and that's the route.
And the chef, did you know what dishes you wanted to have before you hired the chef?
Yeah, I had written a menu and knew the direction I wanted to go in for the restaurant before interviewing.
And
And that was part of the interview process. Is this food you'd be interested in doing? Is this something you want to do?
Right.
It wasn't a
And
surprise.
how would you define the direction that the restaurant's going?
I want to say the direction of the restaurant is approachable. I want to say it's just accessible and approachable. I'm not trying to, reinvent the wheel. There's a million great restaurants in this area, Rhinebeck specifically. I think they're all wonderful. I go to them all the time. I just wanted a fun spot to hang out on the water that was approachable to everyone.
Right.
And this community, the surrounding communities, city folk, like anyone that is around, I want to feel welcome there. And that will be reflected in the menu, the beers I serve on tap, the cocktails. It all will be straightforward, clean, accessible
Right.
food.
And what beers are you going to have on tap?
Oh, big decision. It was a
Yeah,
hard one.
I
Yeah,
know,
I was going
right?
to start with 6, and then I went to 8, now we're up to 10. So we'll have a range, a couple IPAs, a stout, fruit beer, a cider, a few lagers. So it'll be a wide range. Another 8 or 9 in the bottle. Relatively small, just wines by the glass. I think we'll have 13 or so. So
Right.
I think it's well rounded, but nothing too crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And which beer is from a place closest to?
Sure, I
there?
have 2 locals. The Rip Van Winkle, which is a
Okay.
local brewery. And the other one, I'm sorry, I forgot the name. It was a cider I was going to use, and we just changed it over to a local cider. So that'll be local as well. And then a couple local from the city, and then a few imports as well.
Right. And wines, any New York State wines? You
Oh, tough question.
what?
Tough question. No, not yet.
Well, let's just move on. I mean, lots of restaurants, sort of tout the ingredients coming from right around the neighborhood.
There's so much here, and I think that'll be in the food menu as well. A lot of local farms. I mean, I know we'll definitely be utilizing as much as we can local food on the menu, and beers as well. And yeah, we'll definitely have a local flair.
And so, how do you find the local producers who you want to use?
Fantastic. I mean, truly amazing. And
No, I
there's-
mean, how do you discover them?
I think trial and error. I think going out, and as far as farms go,
Yeah. How do you come upon the local producers? I mean, if you just moved up here, you probably don't know them all.
well, we do. I mean, that's what we use in the city. There's
Okay.
a lot of farmers and local places from the Hudson Valley. I mean,
Right.
that's all these places that I just found out that a couple farms are right next to my house. I had no idea that I've known these brands and names for years and used them in the restaurants, and they're in my backyard now, which is so fun. I never knew that before. So I think that I do have a a sense of what's here.
Right.
Because it shows up, in the markets.
And how did you, way back when, how did you get into this business, into the restaurant or hospitality
I knew
business?
it. I have family restaurants in upstate New York. So I grew up in Oswego, New York, which is about an hour north of Syracuse on Lake Ontario. And we have three family restaurants, two that have been in business for 75 years in the town, a block away from each other, Italian-American, and then another sports bar that my uncle has that's been in business, I think, 30 years now, maybe 35. And so I knew it, worked in it as a kid. I went to the culinary here down in Hyde Park in the late 90s. And I thought that if I was going to work in restaurants, I should know how to cook,
Right.
not just work in them. And then and that brought me down to the city. And I spent the last 20 or so years down there.
Right. So were you born and raised in Oswego?
I was, yeah. Yeah, that was always home.
And you still have family there, I guess. They're running these restaurants.
Yeah, I think I have 22 first cousins that are all still there. Yeah, so big Italian family back up in Oswego.
That's great. So that must be fun to
21,
go back there.
21.
And of them, how many are in a restaurant business?
What year?
Yeah.
Depends, a lot of them. So
Yeah.
yeah, a fair amount are still in the business.
Huh. And I've never been to Oswego. What kind of a place is that?
A small town. SUNY Oswego's there. There's a college town. There's a lot of bars and restaurants right on the lake, so it's beautiful. There's a river into the harbor, and I mean, everywhere you go is really beautiful. It's a little picturesque up there. But small town.
Yeah, how small?
Bigger than here. I think it's 15,000 or so. With or without the college, it's always hard to say. I think the college is like 7,500.
Right.
So it gets up to like 22 or so.
Right.
With the
I
college.
don't even know the population of local towns. Would that be like Kingston or Newburgh? Anybody? 15,000 population of Oswego?
Give or take, yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So you've been to Kingston. It feels sort of comparable.
Comparable, yeah.
Huh. Nice. And how far away is it?
3.5 hours, 4 hours.
Not bad. Siblings still there?
My brother's still there. He has a business there, and one brother up there.
But not in the restaurant business.
He sells beer, so he's in the
Oh.
beer business. So adjacent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. And you get back often for the enormous family reunions?
I do. It's nice. And now the train's here, so right up to Syracuse. It's easy. If there's a train or drive, it's either way.
Oh, I
It's
love
really
the
nice.
train. That's
Yeah.
such a nice ride. All right, so you went to the CIA and studied there. Did you specialize in any particular kind of cuisine?
No, they kind of bring you around all of them there. So you get a little taste of everything at the school. So there's the associate's degree, which is more cooking, and then the bachelor's degree, which is a little bit more on the academic side.
Okay.
So it's a kind of a split program.
And who does the cooking in your family?
You're looking at them. It's me. Yeah.
All right. So presumably you have dinner parties. Here's the question. When you have people coming over, you're really trying to impress them.
Sure.
What's your dish that you tried out that doesn't fail?
Oh. Well, nothing fails. Come on. It's always great. You have to plan and prepare.
Well played, senor.
No, I think I like to try new stuff. I think that it depends on who's coming to dinner.
But you
of
have
what
an
I'm gonna
old,
make.
reliable dish that, like, I'm going to make that. It always works, and it always turns out people always love
Sure.
it.
I think that's more comfort food for when guests aren't coming over.
Okay.
More for me, and it's hard. My partner is a very simple eater, and I'm more of a stew and pastas and composed things. So I often
Right.
make two dinners. I make him his
So he has the steak
mac and
you have
cheese,
the
and I
steak au
have my
poivre.
yeah. We have two different palettes there.
Huh. That's sweet to make
Well,
two different dinners.
We only see each other 2 days a week, so it's not so.
Right.
It's not a 7-night thing.
And do you cook for yourself? I guess you live alone the other 5 days a week.
No, I dine out.
Oh.
There's a lot of places to go. I think that I like to make lunch for myself and then
Right.
try to see what's going on and feel the energy in town and get to know it.
And the surrounding area, I'm guess.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And what are some of the restaurants not in Rhinebeck that you've been thrilled to discover in this area?
I think that River and Post was a favorite from the get-go, and I feel his pain from when he first started of trying to get open during the pandemic. I mean,
Right.
a little different now, but he started with just doing takeout, and we were so excited that like every night we would try to go down, when are you opening, or when can we come in and have a drink and see the space, and I get his struggle now that it's finding staff and putting the pieces together, but it's turned out fantastic, and that's a favorite for sure.
Right, that's a nice place.
Yeah.
And how have you explored like out into the Catskills and up in Hudson and?
We've been to Hudson a bit, and Tivoli. We love Tivoli, and we like a few places over in Kingston, and I mean, it's everywhere. There's so much. There's not a lack of restaurants or places to go in the area. Yeah.
All right. What's your guilty pleasure for food?
Guilty pleasure? I think anything that is comfort. A meatloaf, a stew, a basic.
Do you ever eat fast food?
I do, yeah.
See, that's
do.
what most people answer when I ask the guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
And which fast food place? You don't have to say. You can pass on this question.
Sure, classic Golden Arches.
Yeah,
it's like I want to go on a road trip when you have to stop. You have to go and load up. Yeah,
that's funny. And what's your order there?
Oh, that changes. That's not always the same. I'm changing that up a little bit. I don't have a go-to. Childhood favorite.
It's been like 40 years. I get the quarter pounder with cheese plain. That's it.
The other day I was on the thruway and I stopped and I was like, when did they stop serving salads? Like, did that happen in the 90s? Like, when did this stop?
Yeah.
I was ready for the big tube of dressing and the whole bit. But yeah,
that is hilarious. Yeah. All right, any other fast foods?
No, just the one.
Smart.
Yeah.
Good answer. I don't mind Taco Bell, which people just love to make fun of, but
Taco Bell's great.
I like it. Yeah.
Consistent.
There
Anywhere you go, it's the same.
Yeah, which is one of the things that people really like, and one of the reasons that McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken are successful all over the world, because people travel, Americans travel, and they can count on that being, as you say, comfort food.
Yeah.
Huh. So what is the worst part of opening a new restaurant for you? I mean, apart from finding local tradespeople.
There's too many things to list there. Honestly, I think there's not. It's all good. It's all good stuff. It's the things you stress. I mean, the sleepless nights of staffing. What will the reception be? Will people enjoy it? Did I make a mistake picking this out? Will this cost too much? There's 1,000 decisions that go into starting a new restaurant, let alone a new business. But I don't think that there's not a bad thing. No. Sorry, I don't know. Did that answer? I don't know.
Good enough.
Yeah.
And you said staffing. Do you need staff? I mean, I've got 8 listeners here. Half of them might need a job.
Come tomorrow. I'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're very much looking for staff. I've interviewed quite a few people, a lot of really nice people, some local people. And I think that's just as important as the food or the rest of it, to have the right energy in the space.
Right.
And so we're looking big time. Yeah, every department. So
and is there, how, apart from showing up in person, how would people get in touch with you?
Email, call the restaurant. I'm there every day, or I can give you my email. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Show up, email, call, however you want.
All right, good. Or they could just click a button on radiofreerhinecliff.org and email me, and I could forward it to you.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. And so for staff, are you running ads now, trying to find people?
Ads are placed.
Servers and...
Yeah, ads are placed. Flyers are around. The colleges are back, so I'm hoping for some, people from there, from Bard or from the Culinary or Marist or anywhere. I just think it's a new group of people in the community.
Huh. And did you talk to the people at the CIA? I mean, I would think that they would sort of have some sort of clearinghouse or be helpful.
They were great. Yeah, I have talked to them. They just came back in session. So the CIA is a little weird, is that they're constantly, every 3 weeks, they have at least they used to, have a new class and a graduating class.
Every 3 weeks?
Every 3 weeks. It's constantly in motion. And that's what keeps the restaurants running there and keeps it operating. But they do take this hiatus in the end of summer, at the end of August and through Labor Day, which is right when I needed the people. So they're back in session now. So they've been really, really kind. And I think that hopefully we'll get a few kids that want to come up this way and help out.
Right. Huh. That's so interesting. And so on a regular night at Kips Tavern, how many people will be working there?
15.
That's a lot. I mean, I know the place. It seems like a crowd.
Yeah, well, there's people behind the scenes too, and
Right.
people in the back, and there's it takes a lot of hands. It's a full restaurant.
Right. So there'll be a maitre d' or maitre d' or somebody a greeter, and then what, like 4 or 5?
Probably 4 servers, a bartender, a few support staff, 5 or 6 people in the kitchen. Yeah.
Wow.
So 15 in that range. Yeah.
Amazing. Now I have in front of me a menu from you
Oh.
did sort of a soft opening thing
We
about
did
a
a little
month ago.
party for the neighborhood about a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that
went
was
well.
nice.
I think it went well. Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
The word was it was really good. Lots of people complained that I wasn't invited, but I was like,
We didn't know each other yet, Norm.
No,
So
we didn't. Yeah.
now you have a table.
And so the menu that you served that night will, if you recall, will many of those things be on the final menu?
We didn't serve any of the food from the restaurant that night. It was
you
a
didn't?
conscious decision to not do that. So we had a food truck come with some Thai food, and we had a few snacks inside, but nothing that we were actually doing on the menu. Because at that time, I didn't have the chef yet. The kitchen wasn't operational. So I don't think that we could have executed it properly.
Oh, okay.
It would have been a little
So-
makeshift. So we did show people the menu that night so they get an idea
Okay.
of what it will be. And it's changed a little bit since then, but more or less the same.
Because I see some of my favorites on that menu that
What's
you
the
showed me.
favorite?
Well, pigs in a blanket.
Yeah,
I love so much.
have to have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
served with Dijon mustard. Caesar salad, I love. Mm-hmm. So are these things going to be on the final menu?
They're there. I had a call from my old boss when I was at the Monkey Bar. He has some places out in Los Angeles, and he's like, I need you to make some tweaks on the menu. He's like, I need you to put pigs in the blanket on the menu. And he was like worried and thought I was going to give him pushback. I was like, no problem. We'll start tomorrow. Like, absolutely.
And so he saw your rough menu and wanted you to add pigs in a blanket?
Yeah. Well, no, he wanted it. He had it at his properties, and I thought he'd get pushback from me that I would never. And
Right.
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Comfort food.
I love pigs in a blanket. It's so exciting. It's so exciting when they come around at some party.
Yeah.
And what else? Let me just see. You mind if I read this?
Sure, go.
Chips and onion dip, olives, crudité. There was just something about crudité. Who was it? Some politician did a thing about the price of crudité.
I don't know.
Yeah. Shrimp cocktail. That sounds delightful. Now, as a starter, you've got chicken soup.
Correct.
Which is nice. I don't generally think of that as like a starter.
It's soulful to me.
Yeah.
It's really comfort any time of year, and
Right.
and we'll have other soups too. Special. But I think that the base has to be something that makes you happy, and chicken noodle soup does that for me anyway. Yeah.
Agreed. Let me just digress here. When you were growing up, your mom or dad did the cooking for the family?
Yeah. Well,
Both of them?
Both. Yeah. My mom. My mom's the cook. My dad had a few things he liked to make, but my mom was really the cook. So.
Did they both work in the family restaurant?
No. They had different businesses. My mother's family had restaurants, and she worked there before me. A long time ago.
So she worked at other restaurants in Oswego?
She worked at her parents' restaurant when I was very young, and then she opened up
okay.
her own business after that.
Okay.
And my father was always in the beer business. That was the main business for the family.
And what were the dishes that either of your parents made from your youth that, like, when you go home, you kind of hope, like, oh, I hope they make the chicken pot pie?
Right, yeah. Well, chicken pot pie is one. Meatloaf is one. And there's some things that I crave and would hope for. And, my mom's like, I'm tired of making this stuff. Like, I'm done. It's your turn. You want that? You can make it. You know how.
For example?
Meatloaf. She's done with that. And pot pie. She's kind of done making that. But she makes everything great. So it's not she has a great Mac salad. A lot of really, homemade type foods that are great. So,
Yeah, it sounds wonderful. And are any of her recipes going to be served at Kips Tavern?
Oh, you put me on the spot. No, I should do that, right? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what kind of relationship you want to have
I
with
have a
your
great
mother after
relationship.
this.
I think she'd be fine either way.
Yeah. But you said you grew up with chicken pot pie, and is that on the menu here?
It is, yeah.
And is that sort of a riff on your mom's chicken pot pie?
Kind of the same.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, so I guess more or less she's there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And does she work with recipes, or does she just sort of wing it?
She wings it. She's just
Right.
a good cook by nature. Yeah.
And so over the years, have you called her up and say, hey, what's the recipe for your wings or your meatloaf or whatever?
Yeah, I have. We're actually putting together a cookbook now for the family, which is kind of fun. One of my cousins was like, email me all the recipes. I'm going to put them together. And so hopefully that's maybe a holiday surprise. We'll see. But
Right.
yeah.
And it's going to be a mix of things. Like,
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, around the family. There's a lot of good cooks in my family. There's a lot of good restaurants and a lot of food loving folks. So I think that we'll get some good stuff.
Right. So it'll be like chicken pot pie and lasagna. It'll be all over the lot.
All over the lot. Yeah.
Huh. What a blast.
Yeah.
And how many contributors? I guess you put out an email or something. No, everybody in your family, all
I don't
21
know who's going
cousins.
to respond. I haven't yet, so I'm a little overdue, but we'll see. We'll see what the end result is. But I think they'll all.
I love that idea. And is the idea that you will then publish this cookbook, or just
No.
share it amongst
No,
amongst
maybe
the
a stocking
cousins?
stuffer. Yeah, no, there'll be
Gotcha.
no editors, no publishing. Yeah.
Right. That'll be so much fun to have.
Yeah.
And what about aunts and uncles? I mean, there must be family reunions where somebody's like, oh, wow, the 7-bean casserole is so good. I
Right.
need to have that recipe.
There's loads. It's a huge family, and it's nice that we're getting back together now. You know, it's kind of
Right.
been a little time away, and now to get up there and enjoy them has been really nice, you know.
How often do you get back?
Lately, not much. I've been here and a
Right.
little busy here, but often. Holidays, you know, weekends.
After the restaurant opens, will you have some time to relax a little bit? I'm guessing you're sprinting right now.
I think I've had enough time to relax. I'm ready to get back to work. I was off a lot of the pandemic and thinking about, you know, next chapters in life, and I'm ready to. Yeah, I'm not thinking time off yet. I'm in it right now.
Okay.
So,
And apart from this, what are the next chapters in your life, do you think?
you know, I didn't think I'd end up here so quickly. I knew eventually I'd come back this way, but I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to open another restaurant someday. I'd like to, you know, open a couple. Right now, my focus is here, and yeah, I'd like to expand in the area, but
Right.
that's a wish, you know.
And when you think about other restaurants, do you think about restaurants sort of like this or different kinds? Like you'd like to open a ribs place or a Chinese place or an
Yeah.
Italian place or...
No, I don't think so. I think more like this. I think this is my speed. I know what I like, and I know, you know, what I do well now, and I'm going to stick there. I don't think I'd explore to another cuisine for myself.
Okay. Well, my mouth's been watering the whole time. I cannot wait to try this. But all right, I'm going to go back to the menu. Chicken soup, mixed green salad, little gem Caesar salad. What makes it a little gem?
It's just a type of lettuce.
Oh,
No
no.
tender. Yeah. Thanks, Matt.
Matt knows the answer. One point for Matt. And the baby red beet salad, yum. White bean toast. That sounds delightful.
Yeah, that's changed. That's a mushroom toast now, but we could do white bean too, since you put it out there. Yeah, we'll do that too.
Mushroom toast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's great.
And for the mains, mushroom pappardelle.
That's a bit different now too. We, another restaurant in town is doing that really well, so we changed it up. So it's going to be a gnocchi, maybe a mac and cheese, but he's still working that out.
Gnocchi.
Yeah.
And have you personally spent any time making gnocchi?
I have as a kid, and at my aunt and uncle's restaurant, I've done that before.
I've seen videos of it. It looks kind of lovely, the process.
It's very therapeutic, and this new chef's, you know, that's why we changed it too, is that he really likes to make pasta. I was like, well, let's do something, let's try it, and he makes a beautiful gnocchi, so that's where we're at. We're gonna give that a go.
Yum.
Yeah.
And that's a potato-based?
Yeah, potato based.
Pasta
Well,
thing?
I think you can do it two ways. Most often it's potato based, and ours certainly is.
And what else goes in that?
Flour and eggs, a little salt. It's very simple. It's a very simple thing to do. I think that the artistry in it is how you cook it, and how you roll it, and the temperature and the humidity. Those factors, more than the ingredients, are kind of what makes it special.
Okay. And how do you cook it? I mean, specifically, how do you cook it that makes it good?
Sure. He blanches it in water, boiling water, and then it's a little pan fry at the end, so they get a little brown. And he adds some, you know, butter and vegetables and his spices and pulls it together.
So
But the actual pasta is boiled.
And is it and then pan fried? Is it traditional?
Not always. Ours will be, but yeah.
Okay. Now, I saw somebody, I'm trying to remember who it was, some Italian chef who was talking about how much he valued pasta water, not fresh water in which he was making his pasta, but water that had already had some pasta in it.
Yeah, with the starch.
Yeah. And so I'm guessing you do that, or most Italian restaurants would. They have the water and it has all the starch in it. And they use it for a half hour or an hour or whatever. You don't get fresh water for every batch, right?
No, it's kind of, there through the service. And I think that if you were to dump that water out before you had to incorporate it with the sauce and the pasta, some people might freak out. Don't dump that out. It's gold. So, no, it's constantly there on the stove, part of the.
And so, service. And how many batches of pasta can you make in that?
I hope a lot.
Yeah.
How many can we make? I mean,
how many do most Italian restaurants
can you eat?
make? And how many batches of pasta go into this pasta water?
Oh, I don't know. 3 or 4. It's constantly being refilled and replaced.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so 3 or 4. So at the end of it, it's got more starch in it. Now, if you had pasta that came out of clean water versus pasta that came out of the last batch of this pasta water, would you taste the difference, you think, in the noodle?
I don't think you notice it in the pasta itself. I think what you would notice is sometimes you use that water to pull the sauce together.
Right.
And that's where it's really valuable, is to have that starchiness in the water to really pull. If it's a tomato sauce or, any red sauce or a butter and oil, it really pulls the dish together, and that's the key.
Right.
More so than the actual cooking in the water.
Gotcha. Okay, very interesting. All right, back to the menu. Pan roasted steelhead, which is a kind of trout.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, it's a fancy name for trout.
More or less.
Yeah.
And is that a local trout?
We're still trying to source it. We're having some trouble finding it, to be honest. Not necessarily finding it in general, but a vendor that serves here locally or that will deliver it to us. So
right.
I leave that to the chef to figure that part out. But,
figure out how he's going to get the trout, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, there used to be a guy over in Woodstock named Lenny B. Who had trout all the time and smoked trout. So good. Because over there, there's the Esopus River, which is a really famous sort of trout stream.
Nice.
People always fishing for trout there. Chicken pot pie. This is after Mom.
Yeah, my mom's recipe.
Yeah, and what's your?
It is now for sure.
What's your mom's name?
Liz.
All right, I'm just going to put that on the Xerox I have.
Liz's pot pie. She'll love that.
Liz's chicken pot pie, potatoes, English peas. So English peas, are they different from sort of New York peas?
I think it's just the accent. I don't know. Yeah, a little bit.
Well,
just a different variety.
What kind do you suppose the Queen, may she rest in peace, had?
Yeah. I don't know, Lesueur peas, aren't those the fancy ones? Right?
I don't know. What are they called?
Lesueur.
Lesueur, in that pretty can.
Yeah, very fancy.
The little French petit pois.
Yeah. I would imagine that's what she had.
All right, now here's my order: the double patty cheeseburger. I don't usually see double patty cheeseburgers on the menu of a place like this. Why double instead of single?
I think I want it to be consistent and good, and so there's no temperatures, and it's just a very flavorful burger. It's thin, right. So the seasonings across everything. It's not just on the outside.
Right.
Consistent, and I think that it eats well, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You kind of get a bite of everything in every bite. It's not just burger. So that was but the reasoning or the thought behind that.
So no temperature. You don't order it medium or medium rare. It comes how it comes.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's great. I was worried about that. I think a burger is a staple to a restaurant in many ways, and we tried it last Friday, and it was wonderful. He really did a bang-up job. So.
Wow, yum.
Yeah.
So when you're ready to go, will you have a soft opening or?
I think as soon as we're ready to go, which should be very soon, we'll have a little bit of a test period, maybe a day or two, and then we'll open. We're ready. All the systems are there. It's just kind of getting the new staff acclimated to the property.
And during that time, will you solicit feedback from the people who come in? And will you make traditionally, do you make any adjustments to your menu?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really important. We have 10 drafts. I left a couple off. Just as people come in, if they're like, I wish you had this, or I wish we could see this. Yeah, I really want it to be. I mean, if there's a common thread there, then we'll make the change. Not just a one-off, but
right.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
Huh.
Especially right here in Rhinecliff, it's the one spot in town, So
Yeah, it is. It is. It's the only restaurant. It's going to be the only restaurant in town. Is that right?
yeah, correct.
And there's I guess probably a kitchen in the hotel, the Rhinecliff Hotel, across the street from you.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been in operation for a long
Yeah, a couple
time.
of years now. I'm not sure what's going on over there, but I hope to see it open soon. It'd be only, better for me and the town and everyone to see that operating than just sitting idle.
Right. So you wouldn't think like, oh, no competition. You'd think, oh,
No, please,
great,
more reason to
bringing
come
more
down
people.
here, better energy down by the water. I certainly think it would be great to see that open. It's sad to see a place closed and just sitting there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And is parking an issue down there?
I don't know yet. That's a big question. People are worried about it. There's enough parking for my restaurant, I feel, on the streets and the lot. But we'll see. I think that there's enough right on the main drag here and then a little lot in the corner, so I think we'll be okay.
Right. Well, I'm knock on wood. Hope that works out.
Knock on wood.
Now, I noticed that you don't have any goat cheese on the menu. Is that because I don't like goat cheese?
Yes. Deliberate. See, we take feedback.
You do, yeah. Even before it's given. Thank you. I appreciate that. French fries, sides, French fries, olive oil, smashed potatoes.
Yeah, I think you change those to a mashed potato and and then some broccoli raw or broccolini.
Broccolini.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else? Are there any surprises? Will there be specials every day? And what about desserts?
We'll have specials. We'll have desserts. There's a chocolate dessert. There's an apple dessert that's really nice. And then, specials will come online. We'll start doing brunches probably 6 weeks after we open. So Saturday, Sundays will be open during the day and all day. A lot of places close in between brunch and dinner. We'll just stay open from 11 a.m. till the end of the night. So it's kind of an all-day affair.
On Saturdays and Sundays.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So it'll be.
And there's a big outdoor patio.
Yep. There's about 25 seats or so overlooking the water, and I'm going to enclose that come winter and have some heaters. So hopefully we'll get some more months of use out of the patio as we're saying goodbye to summer here. I hope we can keep that going.
Right. So you'll enclose it in heaters, a temporary enclosure.
Correct. Yeah.
And so you probably had to get a lot of permits from the town and stuff. What are the rules for temporary enclosures?
None that I know of. I mean, it was pre-existing, so I think we're okay there as far as the enclosure. I think maybe I have to be careful where we put the heaters, but there was heaters there before too. So I think it's an existing property, so I don't think we're infringing on anything there. But all the other permits are all good to go.
And building inspectors come down. They
health inspections done, liquor license, all the biggies are good to go.
And was it hard to get a liquor license? Did you have one before, and does that help? Or?
I've never had one just in my name, and it is a lengthy process to go through, laborious, but for a reason, I'm sure. But yeah, it's done now. Now the next time I will know better to get that done quicker. Just it's a live and learn situation of going through that process.
And how long did that take, that process?
It took about 3.5 months to get the temporary, which I have now, and then hopefully I'll get the permanent permit any day. I'm waiting on that.
And so the temporary is like provisional, just they see
Correct.
how you
they
do
give it to you.
with
You can open and you can
Right.
reapply for it. I think up to 3 times, maybe 4. So it's 90 days each, and then in that time they should process the permanent.
Right. And once you get the permanent liquor license, that's good forever?
It's good for 2 years.
Oh.
And then you have to renew. And so it's a state application fee process. But they renew it. You don't have to apply again. You just have to.
And do they come out and like talk to your neighbors, talk to staff? What kind of diligence they do deciding whether?
I think that they do. I mean, I haven't heard that. You do have to post in the newspaper for 2 weeks that you're applying for a license. So if anybody has any feedback, they're welcome to voice that concern to Albany. But I had not heard that. So.
And does the Hamlet Tatler count as?
I wish I could advertise there. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, that'd be good. I wonder. I don't think they take any advertising, but that'd be wonderful.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Okay, I've got more questions. Oh boy, what is the somebody sent this in on Facebook thing. What is the craziest thing that's happened to you in the restaurant business?
Oh, I have a lot of stories. I can tell you one. I ran a very large restaurant down in Union Square that was, I think, 550 seats or so.
Oh my God.
Multi-level.
What was that?
Blue Water Grill. It was right in Union Square, a big seafood restaurant. It was in an old bank. It was a beautiful building. It's since closed, sadly. But I was the general manager there for 3 or 4 years in mid-2000s. And the owner of the company came in one night on a Saturday, and I was very backed up. There was a line out the door, and he came up to me and said, "How far out of time are you?" Which means if it's an 8 o'clock reservation, where are you? Where are you at? And I was like, "I'm fine, 15 minutes," which not true. It was probably 45 minutes or an hour. I mean, clearly people are standing everywhere.
And you knew who it was when he came in?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, big time. And he was happy. He knew what I was saying. But he was standing there watching the show happen, to see the restaurant busy and occupied. And I had a large party. I sat, a party of 8 or so, this beautiful booth, and they stood there and they started looking at me and started walking back towards me. And I was getting angry inside. I was like, "That's a beautiful table. Like, why wouldn't you sit there? Like, I don't have another space for you. Like, you're going to sit there." And so I cut them off before they got all the way back to me, and they just kind of pointed. And this is a packed restaurant, 8 o'clock on Saturday, and there was a mouse sitting next to the lamp on the back of the banquette. And not just like a mouse, it was like a gray, like one floppy ear, kind of giving me the middle finger. I was like, oh no, and so kindly they said nothing and just stood to the side. And I, in my suit, climbed under the table with a pint glass and a menu and caught the mouse and brought it through the restaurant and discarded it. So those are the kind of things that would happen on the regular, and that's, I think, a very PC story to tell without involving any guests. But so that was a one-time occasion with a mouse. But a packed restaurant, nobody saw me, nobody knew. Here I was carrying a mouse in a pint glass out into the back alley to set him free to bother some other restaurant
him or her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I quickly found them another table. I didn't make them sit there after that. but they stayed, though.
But there was probably another big party right behind him.
There certainly was. None the wiser and happy to have the table. We sanitized and moved on.
Yeah.
So lots of those.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
But you love it. It sounds like you really, truly
it's
love,
fun.
love
it
this
gives
business.
you stories around people, and, it's just a really... saying that to 2 people I interviewed today, that, restaurants are supposed to be fun. They're a place to, hang out. That's where people want to go and see each other and have a good time. And
right.
That's a part of the interview process for me, that it's not just a job. You have to want to hang out with people and be here, and that's a big deal. And I think sometimes that's forgotten in hospitality, that it's supposed to be fun.
It seems almost like entertainment sometimes. You go out to dinner, you want to be
Sing
entertained by the food
yeah.
and the people you're out with, and
yeah.
So, what are some of your restaurant pet peeves? You don't just run restaurants; you go out to restaurants.
Yeah, it's tough.
What
it's hard.
things happen?
My poor partner, he just shakes his head now. But
because there's always something.
There's always something, and he's just as picky as I am sometimes. And I love every level of restaurant. I actually really don't like the super fancy restaurants. It's not my speed. But lighting is huge. If it's too bright, the sound, if it's freezing cold or too hot. If it's too hot, I can't sit in there. I think there needs to be life in the restaurant. If there's no plants or anything around, it just feels kind of a dead space.
Right.
The obvious ones, bathrooms and all the rest of it. But I think, is the staff engaging? Are they on their cell phones or drinking or just don't care if you're there or not? When you find an engaging server or bartender, it kind of feels like that's my new favorite restaurant to go to now. I'm going to go back there, even if the food is mediocre at best, because I felt that somebody cared that I was there, and had a good time with. And it was fun to be there and not just a chore to then get a bill.
Right, and the server was happy and had a good attitude. And,
yeah.
Here's some of my restaurant pet peeves. First is this, being served a glass like that.
Oh,
with
no.
the fingers on the rim.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant my glass.
No, your glass, your glass
we're not using those anyway.
Gorgeous, and it's filled with this fabulous cocktail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fingers on the glass or fingers in the glass. Or
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers in the glass.
Yeah, right. And then they go set the clean table after they just did that. Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that at Kips Tavern.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's about it. Anything you'd like to add about... Oh, wait, Kips Tavern. It's named Kips Tavern, I'm guessing because of
Kipsbergen. Initially, I had a different name. And I talked to the landlord. He wanted to be Kips Tavern right in the beginning. And I laughed, and that's my partner's last name. I was like, it can't be that. It can't be Kips Tavern. I can't name it after him. My family will laugh at me. Like, it just can't be.
Right.
And then I had this other name in mind. And Easter Sunday, we had brunch with my family, and I said the name, and they all were just silent. And I was like, well, we're also thinking maybe Kips Tavern. And my uncle was like, that's a great name. That's what it should be. It should be Kips Tavern. And everybody was like in agreement. I was like, all right, fine. It's Kips Tavern. You all win. And then come to find out that the Kips Tavern, there was a bar here, one of the oldest bars in America a long time ago, the little stone house as you come into town was Kips Tavern, when they settled the town. So it's a little, I didn't know that at the time, and now I do, and makes me feel even better about the name. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
Do you mind sharing what the runner-up name was?
Oh, no.
You don't
it's
have
so
to.
Sad. It's died. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
We're not going to hear the dead name. That's fine. I guess that's it, really. I mean, I asked all the questions I got to ask about this.
Just come now. It's time to hang out and
Do we
have
get to
drinks.
ask questions to fill up the time?
Oh, yeah. We've got some questions from the station owner.
The station owner.
Station owner.
What are the cheese options on the cheeseburger?
Oh, one, cheddar. There are no options.
No blue cheese option.
Oh, no, you could do blue cheese. We'll have other options. Yeah. Cheddar, provolone, blue cheese. Yeah. Choices will be there.
And will you have like a cheese plate on the menu?
There is for dessert. There's a cheese and fruit for dessert. So, yeah. And that'll change from time to time and be local.
And do you often, when you go out, get a cheese plate for your dessert?
Sometimes for a starter, at the bar. I think that's nice too to have a cocktail and wait for somebody.
But not for like dessert.
I'm not really a dessert person.
Oh.
I'd rather sit and chat and have another drink or a coffee and hang out. I'm a sweet person, but not a dessert person.
And what kind of coffee are you going to have? Where were you getting that from?
Irving Farm is the coffee. It showed up today. So, yeah.
It did. Exciting. And in one kind of roast, is that a dark or medium
Just
roast?
one to start, and then I'll do more once we get into brunch and get into all the other coffee drinks. But
And will people be able to take away food? Are you doing takeout?
everything is available for takeout. Everything on the menu is packaged to go. There'll be beverages to go. And so, yeah, if you want to get food and take it on the train or take it home, all of that.
And beverages to go, and it's okay to give alcoholic beverages to go? That's
in some cases, still figuring that out. I think that if it's in a sealed container, it's okay to go. You certainly can open a bottle of wine and dine and take that home with you if it's wrapped up in a bag to go. But cocktails to go, they do have so many now that are in cans and ready to go. So we'll have those available too. And we have a lot of non-alcoholic drinks too that are getting popular. So we'll have there's alcohol-free spirits that are getting popular now, and wines. So I think that'll be part of the menu too.
I've seen those advertised. I've never tried them. I really want to try this alcohol-free gin that I saw somewhere.
There's a liquor store in the West Village that we walked by that's an entire store just to non-alcoholic spirits, and it's mind-blowing. There's so many options. You think there'd be just one or two, and there's loads now.
And you've tried many of these, I'm guessing.
Yeah, a handful. Yeah. We'll have them.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm eager to try those as well.
Good.
And are they sort of the same price as their alcoholic brethren?
I think it depends on what the bottle costs. So we'll see. I don't know the pricing on those, off the top of my head, but it depends on what the bottle is. So there's a process to that too, to make that product. So we'll see what they end up being.
And when you go out for dinner and you've enjoyed the service and the food's been nice, how much do you tip?
I think I always tip 20% or more. I think there's so many other people that are part of that process than just the server, that share in that tip.
Right.
So even if you have an off night with a server or bartender, I think the other people are part of that you don't see, and that's important to tip. So I would never leave less than 20%.
Makes
usually
the
more.
math easy too.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
All right.
Oh wait, more questions.
7 minutes. Hey, we're going to fill up the time.
Come on, Matty, lay it on us.
You're going to have espresso service with ground coffee that you grind yourself?
Yes. Yeah. Waiting on the machine to arrive, but yes, we'll have cappuccinos, espresso.
Excellent. And are your receipts on your POS system going to print a recommended tip, like 15?
I
20,
just
25?
did that before I came up. It's a new POS that I'm learning at the moment, and we just figured that out. Yeah, I think that's nice.
Yeah. No, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
So I'll have a recommended tip. Like you want to leave 15, 18, 20 or more.
So if you're drunk at the end, you could just circle the number you want.
And
Just
what
circle.
what are the choices?
I went with 18, 20, 22. They had it at 15, 20, and 30. I was like, that's a little
15,
aggressive.
that's not a
I
New
think
York
that's a little
number.
rude and a little aggressive. Let's tighten that
18,
gap
20,
down
22.
to, yeah.
Huh. Nice. I wonder how that will shake out in terms of what percentage people the bulk of people will leave. We'll find out, I guess.
I think it just makes the math easy.
To press that button.
Yeah, to circle that number, check that box.
So the POS, I'm guessing this is like a little
That's a computer.
a tablet
that point of sale system is what it
comes
stands
to the table, and people can just.
No, they're in the hutches. Nothing comes to the table. I know that's popular now, but that's not what we're going to do at the restaurant. So the server will handle it, and. Yeah, I think that I see those when they walk over to the table to take your order on, looks like an iPhone or a handheld. I think it takes away from them engaging with the table, and they're looking for something all the time, a menu item, and they're not really listening or engaging. So I chose not to use those.
So will they have like a tablet of paper?
They'll have a pad and a pen.
Right.
Yeah, simple.
Huh, that's kind of sweet.
Right.
Seems a little old style.
Yeah.
But I like that. And I'd never really thought about that. There are some places in town that have little handhelds, and you're right. It sort of
I think
takes all
that's
the attention.
nice for people that are worried about their credit cards when it comes for payment, to do the payment on the handheld. It's a very European thing to do that is very simple there. I don't care for that. I find that if they come over with a handheld and you present your credit card, they're kind of looming or hovering, and I feel uncomfortable when it's time to process the check. I want to think about it, maybe talk to the other people in my party or what we're going to do, and the server's kind of waiting for that device to go to the next table. So I just think it's not comfortable for the guest and not necessary.
Right. So how many seats are you planning on having in this place?
There are about just under 50 inside, another 20 or so outside.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's nice.
We reconfigured the layout, and it feels good.
Well, I cannot wait to see it.
You'll have to come.
All right, and now if Matty says it's okay,
I'm not trying to take the show away.
do we have more questions from the field over here?
I love the fact that there's going to be a bar that right on the river.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you're comfortable, because not every place is comfortable. You're comfortable people coming and just drinking.
Yeah, I hope they do. Yeah,
This is amazing.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get like a full meal. You can just come and you're welcomed. And
You're absolutely welcome to come drink.
Thank you.
The tables, however, we'll see about that, but the bar definitely will be open. Just
Okay,
for
that's
drinks.
good to know.
Yeah.
When does the kitchen close?
Kitchen closes right now at 9:30 on the weekends, but the bar will stay open later. And if there's people there, I'll stay open. I'm not trying to close down early. So if there's the demand, I'll be open.
Will there maybe be like a late menu for bar, like pigs in a blanket, French fries, and?
I'm looking at that now. I want to kind of feel the train schedule and see how that goes. With people coming to pick people up or waiting to go, and see what nights of the week that makes sense to do. But yes, we'll stay open as late as we can.
Will you be doing any advertising?
I haven't yet, and
Right.
I don't know if I will.
I
Let's see.
don't know if you'll have to. I mean,
Getting reservations every day now.
Oh, you
I'm not
are?
even open yet. I walk in and there's voicemails for reservations, and it's a little. I feel bad. I have to call and say I'm sorry. Not quite yet. So we'll see how it goes. If I need to advertise, then we will.
And will you have any of those online, like Resi or whatever online reservations?
We'll take online
system?
reservations. I think we're going to go with Open Table. There's a few places in town that use that already, so I think that makes it easy for it's Resi or Open Table locally, so people don't have to download a new app or find a new way to book a table.
Right. It's super convenient.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now, without further ado,
Okay.
Maddie's leaning in.
No, I just don't know if there were any other questions from Jen.
No, I'm good. I can't wait to come and drink and
Yeah,
hang.
we all can't wait to come and drink and hang out.
There isn't a day, frankly, where people don't come into the Epicurean and ask, when it's opening, did it open and close, like what happened?
Yeah.
There is such excitement around this
Well, it looks
restaurant.
finished now too, so I think that's more reason.
Well, I want to come by. Will you be there tomorrow?
I'm there tomorrow. Come by.
I
Come
want
see
to
it.
come
Yep.
by and see
I'll be there.
what it is. And with that, Christopher Dorsey, thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful Friday night and a great weekend. This has been Correct Me If I'm Norm on radiofreerhinecliff.org. Good night.